This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Chesapeake Eye Center.
You have probably experienced it during a routine eye exam. The doctor looks in your eyes and he or she shoots that puff of air into your eyeball. You know that part? It's not a great feeling, but it is an important screening for a blinding disease called glaucoma.
More than 3 million Americans are living with glaucoma, and many more may have it but not know because there are no symptoms until the damage is severe. We visited Chesapeake Eye Center in Berlin to learn more about the leading cause of blindness for people over 60. Rocks and waterfalls. Those are the visuals Dr. Jason Yonker uses to explain glaucoma.
It's essentially a condition where pressure builds up inside your eye, squeezes the optic nerve, and slowly over time kind of damages and erodes it.
The optic nerve is the rock. Built up pressure is the waterfall.
So over a period of time, if you've got a piece of granite, it'll slowly wear it away, but that granite's going to last a long time. Versus if you've got a piece of limestone under there and you've got a waterfall falling on it, eventually it's going to wash it away.
He says the optic nerve and pressure varies from person to person.
So if you've got a lot of eye pressure, that's a lot of pressure being put on that optic nerve. And so if it's a really, soft kind of limestone optic nerve, it's going to wear it away over time.
He says left unchecked, older patients may begin to lose peripheral vision and eventually go blind, especially if they have the risk factors.
Family history is the big one. So if you've got a first-degree relative with glaucoma, you've got about a 6 times increased risk of developing the condition.
Over the age of 70, of Latino or African American descent, and diabetes are also risk factors.
There are eye risk factors that you don't know if you have until you see the eye doctor, such as high eye pressure.
That's why some eye doctors blow a puff of air into your eye. The doctors at Chesapeake Eye Center use a test they consider the gold standard.
We use Goldman applanation, which is a little blue light that's on a little device which is sitting next to me on this little arm. And it looks like, kind of looks like a little traffic cone. And we numb the eye up with drops, and we touch the eye gently and apply pressure. And once it equalizes the pressure, that gives us the reading.
Dr. Yonker says glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness because there are practically no symptoms.
The majority of glaucoma, if it's caught in time, you don't need to lose your vision from glaucoma. It's a shame when people do lose their vision because we've got so many different treatment algorithms between drops and lasers and surgeries.
That's why he says even people who don't wear glasses need to get an annual eye exam.
You may not go into the eye doctor until you're in your 60s or 70s, until you start developing maybe a little bit of a cataract, or your primary care says, hey, you should go over and get a baseline eye exam, and then we find out, oh my gosh, you've got glaucoma. You probably have had it for 20 or 30 years.
At this point, Dr. Yonker says symptoms may start to appear, such as hazy or foggy vision or blind spots in your sight. That's why early detection is vital for your vision. The most common type of glaucoma is called open angle. The eye is unable to drain fluid as it should, causing pressure to build. For that, Dr. Yonker uses a laser to clear the gutter of the eye.
It actually stimulates a little bit of inflammation in the gutter of the eye, which is where the fluid percolates. You can think of it like a sponge over top of a gutter, which goes into the blood vessels in the eye. So this sponge gets clogged up over time. So we shoot the sponge with little spots of laser. It causes inflammation. The inflammation recruits little cells called macrophages, which are the garbage collectors of the eye. So they'll come in, they'll eat up the debris that's clogging the drain. Fluid gets out of the eye easier, the pressure comes down.
Another treatment uses drops to either open up the sponge causing the clog or essentially slow down the fluid in the eye. Harder to treat is what's called closed-angle glaucoma. Dr. Yonker says this type happens quickly and patients have immediate symptoms.
That's going to be headache, nausea, vomiting, halos.
Dr. Yonker says getting a regular glaucoma screening is like navigating a barge down the river.
Before there's a fork in the river, a mile or two upstream, we're seeing what's coming. The navigation, we know what's coming. A little turn in the barge early, big difference when you get downstream.
In other words, a little treatment early is going to save you a lot of problems later and more than likely save your sight. And Dr. Yonker also said people who are very nearsighted are also at a higher risk of having glaucoma. And I think it's interesting when he said, a lot of people who don't wear glasses probably don't get regular eye exams. So they're missing out on this vital screening, and they could go 20, 30 years not knowing they have it.
How about that? I didn't even thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.